Hey, everybody, welcome back to another episode of This Week with Carolina Commits, the show where we look past the stars in the rankings and we break down the on field performance of Carolina Commits and key targets. I'm THL staff writer Brandon P. Joining me today is the director of football recruiting and the publisher of NC Preps, Miss Dina King. We are here to talk about some of the key standouts, key people who stood out, UNC commits. We usually do a top five, but there were so many big performances this week that you told me that you had a few honorable mentions. So if you wanted to go through your honorable mentions, you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, this is a week two for most of the commitments, but week one for all the Florida commitments, and there's actually two commitments, Lucas Osada and Ryan Ward, that haven't even started their season yet, so they'll be starting it this week. A great week for North Carolina commits. They went 21-3 in the win and loss column. Of course, 25 guys in action. Of course, teammates Aiden Banfield and Jaden Patterson play for Mill Creek, so they had a big win. But like you said, some big performances. Honorable mention, three-star linebacker Cruz Law out of Christ Presbyterian in Nashville had a big defensive effort, had 12 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, and a sack. Malcolm Ziegler, a three-star DB athlete from Fuquay Varina, had a great all-around performance. I mean, he had a touchdown catch. He returned a fumble for a touchdown and had an interception. So great all-around game for Malcolm. And then Jordan Shipp backed up another big game performance up in Asheville, North Carolina, for his Providence Day Chargers, getting 5 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. So those three guys, it's hard to crack the top 5 when you have so many really good performances this week. And that should tickle Coach Matt
Yeah, I would.
Brown and his staff.
Yeah, yeah. I would agree. That's a good problem for the UNC staff to have, the fact that we are having a hard time picking the top 5 performances from this week. But to kick off our top 5, we have a cornerback Zion Ferguson, the 6-footer out of Gainesville High School in Gainesville, Georgia, who defeated Mountain View High School 34-21 this week. Can you just talk about his performance and why did he make the top 5 this week?
He made the top 5 because he had a very exciting pick six that helped his Red Elephants. What a unique mascot, Red Elephants. So pick six for Zion Ferguson, big defensive game for him and helping his team to that win. A lot of excitement. In our weekly article, I've actually posted a tweet of the actual pick six. So check that out when we post the article about the commit results.
Yeah, and defensive backs, playmakers in the defensive backfield, something Mac Brown and this coaching staff, they're always looking for. And then you got someone that's making plays in key moments in the game. So you got that clutch factor in there. But moving on to the next person, we have Keenan Jackson, the 6'3" wide receiver out of Weddington High School. He helped his team beat Ardrey Kell 35-0. Can you talk about his performance?
5 catches, 176 yards with a touchdown. Weddington, one of the top programs in the state, got a lot of great prospects on that team. A lot of good young prospects that we hope to profile on Tar Heel Illustrated. 3 other kids with offers from Tar Heel, class of 26. So Coach Andy Capone, he's done a remarkable job there at Weddington, and looks like he's got another great team this year.
Yeah. Keenan Jackson, actually, he was at the Carolina camp where I was at the Carolina camp where he actually earned his scholarship offer from Carolina. That seems like it was years ago, but it was only a little bit over a year ago. But moving on, we're going to go down to South Florida where Michael Merdinger was playing, the 6'2" quarterback who plays for Cardinal Gibbons High School. Actually played the same school from North Carolina of the same name in Cardinal Gibbons. And Michael Merdinger helped his team to a 28-21 victory. So can you just talk about his stat line a little bit, Dina?
I would think this is his opening debut because last year, he um, was a backup to their quarterback last year, and now it's his team there at Cardinal Gibbons, and he had a really big debut for his senior season, 27 of 42 passes for 263 yards and 3 touchdowns, and also ran for 33 yards on the ground. So a big opening day performance for Coach Chip Lindsey's quarterback recruit, Michael Merdinger.
Yeah, and Michael Merdinger is class of 24, but college coaching staffs, they are recruiting quarterbacks every single year. So the next year in the class of 25, they brought in Bryce Baker, the talented kid from East Forsyth, who had a big performance 55-0 over Jack Britt this weekend. So you can just talk about his performance.
Yeah, Bryce Baker continues to be stellar. He made the top 5 last week. 23 of 31, 257, had 4 touchdowns in that big win. Our Kevin Roy, our video photo X Square,
Extraordinaire.
extraordinaire, the star. He was there live for that game in Fayetteville. Got some great videos of Bryce, so go check his workout on the website, on our YouTube channel. Bryce Baker, he's a really, really good ball player, and another one of Chip Lindsey's big time signal callers.
Yeah, it's a lot of talented guys in the skill positions coming in the future for UNC recruits, and that doesn't stop with Davion Gause. He receives our number 1 spot this week, the 5'11", 205-pound running back out of Chaminade, Madonna, helped his team with a 35-14 win over St. Francis Academy. Dean, last season, UNC really struggled to get a running game going. Davion showed that maybe he could help the Tar Heels out sooner rather than later when he gets on campus.
Yeah, he had a big performance. I believe it was on TV. So the whole
ESPN,
nation got to see him. He plays for one of the top teams in the nation. I mean, Chaminade Madonna is loaded with 5 stars and 4 stars and everything. Had almost 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in the win. So what can you say? You if you're the coaching staff and you see all these numbers, they have to have big grins on their faces to see their recruits doing well. But it also means they got to stay on them because all these other schools continue to recruit these kids until they sign that dotted line later on in December. So, but you were in Charlotte, and I want you to talk about the game that you saw with nationally ranked Buford came to Mallard Creek in a big game, and that featured UNC safety commit Tyshawn White. So tell us a little bit about what happened at that game and how White performed.
Yeah, so coming in, I believe Buford was the 4th ranked team in the nation, and I believe Mallard Creek was heavy underdog to coming into the game. But many people thought so, but Mallard Creek put up a really good fight. It was a really close game, 10-7, defensive battle. As far as Tyshawn White, he had, I believe, from my unofficial count, he only had 1 tackle, but his defense, the defense that's in front of him is so elite that it's rare that things get back to him. So if it's a passing play, the defensive line is probably going to get to the quarterback. If it's a running play, it's not getting past the line of scrimmage. So it's rare things get past him. But he did show a lot. He showed me a lot of skill because he actually he's one of the key weapons that Buford uses on offense. So a lot of the times the coach would take him out of defense to rest him for offense. So he showed really good ball skills. He's really talented kid. and I'm believing of the latest rivals rankings, which was on August 15th. He had a major boost. Believe he went all the way up. He's a 4-star now, number 85 player in the country. So that's a really big jump for that kid. But it was a really good atmosphere. Like you said, Buford sold out their allotment of tickets in 5 minutes. And I did a little bit of research. Just the town of Buford has about 17,000 people, and they bought 8 buses worth of people from Buford, Georgia, up to Charlotte, North Carolina, to watch a high school football game. So the atmosphere was great. It was a great game, very competitive. It was a good game. You know, I think Mallard Creek might have made a statement to be one of the best teams in Charlotte. We'll see as the season goes along. I'm interested in following that.
Yeah, Coach Kennedy Tinsley, a former North Carolina player, is the head coach at Mallard Creek. And like you said, Buford's loaded with outstanding talent, you know, from top to bottom. So, but
And
that,
And actually,
hey,
the reason I knew about that game is because last week you told me about it when we were talking about the top games of that are going around. So actually, I want you to go into the top games that are going to be coming in for week 3, week 2 for some players, but the next week, some of the top games that people should be looking out for.
as always, like last week, I'm going back to Cleveland County, Crest High School, 2-0 with their star wide receiver Javaris Green, who had a couple touchdowns last week against rival Burns. Will take on the Shelby Golden Lions, and you know, if you follow high school football in North Carolina, you know Shelby is, you know, their reputation for being great. You know, they state championships. You know, everybody talks about Shelby, so that's a big rivalry game. Should be a huge atmosphere for that one. Another big game that's supposed to be on ESPN, Brandon, Providence Day. It's going to host Charlotte Catholic. Uh, you know, we have Jordan Shipp, UNC commit, David Sanders, who is a big UNC target for the 2025 class, top offensive line, possibly the top player in the whole class
I agree.
In that game. And then
and
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry. I would encourage UNC fans to watch that game because that's going to be a very competitive game. The style of play that Charlotte Catholic plays could give Providence Day a little trouble. It's always a close game between those two. I would encourage all UNC fans to watch it to see how their UNC prospects and commits, how they respond to some adversity, because they will face adversity against a good team like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dina.
And then a game that you're going to head to south of Charlotte, Weddington is going to host West Forsyth, and that's a couple of UNC commits, Keenan Jackson and from Weddington, and offensive lineman Desmond Jackson at West Forsyth, offensive lineman who committed to Carolina. It seems like 2 or 3 years ago. You know, it's time flies. But Weddington, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, very good young talent led by linebacker Thomas Davis Jr. Yeah, that's the Thomas Davis that played for Carolina Panthers, and the twins Aiden and Andrew Harris. All 3 of those guys, class of 26, all 3 have Carolina offers. So if you're in that area in Union County, that would be a good game for any Carolina fans to go watch. And then a big national game, maybe, especially in Florida, Cardinal Gibbons with Michael Merdinger will host Chaminade Madonna and Davion Gause, and that very talented team there from Hollywood, Florida. So Brandon, there's a lot of games, and you know, a lot of future teammates facing off against each other this week.
Yeah, it should be good for bragging rights, but should be good. It should be good. Should be good football. I'm just glad football is back. But Dina, I think that's a great place to stop for TarHeelIllustrated.com. I've been Brandon P. She's been Dina King. Thank you for watching.